So my subscriber friend Rana asked me a very interesting question in the YouTube comments a couple of weeks ago. And it was something along the lines of, am I getting tired of always making deaf related videos and talking about it? And it's a good question because I went from talking about makeup to talking about both deafness and just, you know, general things, whatever I want to talk about, food and whatever. And I had to say that I'm not tired of talking about this at all. However, it's easy to get burned out on it a little, or if it's not me being burned out a little, it's just getting into a little bit of a rut. Because I think there's only so much that you can talk about on YouTube until it gets too redundant. But I'm very happy to, you know, share my perspective and what I know and, you know, talk about my friends that are also involved in this stuff and tell you their perspective or tell you to go over there to go find out their perspective. And the good thing about talking about this kind of stuff for the past year is that I'm making a little bit of a career out of it. This is the first time in my 5 years of YouTube that I've actually been able to make some sort of a career out of this. I've gone to VidCon to do a workshop, I've gone to Buffer Festival to do screenings, and I just did a presentation at a college in Pennsylvania, which was a paying gig. And when I think about it, I'm like, dude, I could do this as like a public speaking thing. Of course, I have to find places that will take me as a public speaker and, you know, pay me to do this, or find events that would be looking for someone like me, which is difficult, and I have to do my own research on how I can do that because it's a lot of work to find these kinds of jobs. You gotta go out and find them. So I'm not tired talking about this. Is just coming up with new and refreshing ideas can be a little bit hard. And the only videos that are related to deaf videos that I would say that I'm tired of talking about is the bad stuff. Not the educating stuff like this is what you do, but when something bad happens, like if just with American Airlines and other airlines treating deaf people and other disabled people like crap, and, you know, just talking about all that, or, you know, just when something bad in general happens, that gets a little bit tiring to talk about, even though you have to talk about it. And one thing I know for sure is that I don't want this channel to be just a deaf education channel. I don't want to just talk about this in every single video that I make, obviously. I always want to be that channel that talks about this, but also talks about, you know, other things that could be serious or could not be serious. If I want to talk about Pokemon, I want to talk about Pokemon, and I'm going to talk about Pokemon. You know, just general lifestyle videos. I want to, you know, add that in. But talking about the stuff, I'm not tired of it, and I'm not at the point where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. But just like with any other content creator, if you do too much of something all the time, you can hit a bit of a dead end and a bit of a rut. So as long as everything is spaced out, like I can make this kind of video that's deaf related and then make some sort of fun video and then do another deaf video, or like a next to be something fun, you know, then it's a nice happy medium. But that's my thoughts on that. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. But if anybody has any advice on how to look for public speaking gigs and stuff, feel free to, you know, leave the advice down in the comments. I did just apply to do a TED Talk, so we'll see what happens with that. I've emailed Playlist, I've emailed StreamCon NYC, and, you know, I'm looking at local stuff. I'm looking at whatever I can look at to, you know, just learn about how to, you know, do all that. It's something I'm new to, so, you know, we'll figure it out. Help me, we'll figure it out together. Alright? And, we'll see you later. Bye.